Chris, and just to reiterate me and my partner's claim, we're going to be arguing that the Indian casino gambling age should not be raised to 21, but should in fact stay at 18. Some points I'm going to cover are just the basic rebuttals to addiction, finances, how raising it to 21 will injure Indian casino finances and profit, how maturity has different aspects to it, and how it can't fully be really, I guess, graded on certain aspects of mere maturity and other parts of that. So for my first one, in an article done by John Well, Grace Barnes, William Resnick, Marie Cecily Tidwell, and John Parker researchers found that the overall percentage of pathological gambling is only 1.3 to 3% in the entire U.S. population. This is to say that pathological means it's mentally addicting, they find a need or a pain if they don't have it, that it's a requirement in their life. This is just to simplify or exemplify that this is a really small percentage of people who are addicted to gambling, that while it may be evident, it is a very small problem, and there are ways to fix it, such as going to health centers, online hotlines, meeting therapists, and other people who can help them out. John W. Well in the Research Institute of Addiction at the University of Buffalo says that at age 21, problem gambling is more common than alcohol dependence, and that for those who start gambling at age 18 are less likely to become gambling addicts because they can't drink. This goes back to even my points claim that said a person is likely to be addicted to something once they've been addicted to something previously. Because a person is 21, they're more likely to have more exposure to drinking, and therefore, because they have a chance at having that addiction to drinking, they'll also be more likely to gain that addiction to gambling as well. Also, while we're talking about addiction, all the addiction might not just come from the Indian casinos. Some addictions may come from the Vegas jackpot casinos, as well as internet addictions, as well as internet gambling addictions. In an article called "Internet Addiction May Be One Click Away" by Manuel Bagori, said that approximately 5 to 10% of Americans may suffer from web addiction, excluding Indian casinos. This is just again to display how addiction may not come from the Indian casinos, but the addiction can be developed from other sources such as online gambling and places like Atlantic City and Vegas, where there's a higher tendency to kind of ruin your life or ruin your money at the hand. Another article called "Nine of the Biggest Las Vegas Jackpots" by Ron Sylvester said that the average jackpot can go between to 3 million to 40 million in Las Vegas, while in the Indian casinos, the average jackpot is around 500,000 at best. While it may not be the biggest factor, many people go to casinos to simply gamble and earn money because they may be in some sort of debt, or they just love the rush of getting money, or just because they just generally love money. This is just to show that more people are likely to go to the Vegas casinos than the Indian reservations, because there's a higher chance to win at the Vegas casinos or Atlantic City casinos than the Indian reservations, because there's a wider span of machines, there's a bigger jackpot, there's more people. It's just a higher chance to win in those casinos rather than in the Indian reservations. And for the brain topic of maturation, and the study showed in the Health and Human Services, it showed that maturation of the prefrontal cortex isn't fully matured until age 25. This is to go against my opponent's claim that saying, while the 18-year-old may not have a fully mature brain yet, neither does the 21-year-old. My opponents are trying to advocate that if you change it to 21, people may be more mature in choosing how to gamble or how not to gamble. But in reality, science shows that even at 21, they're still not mature enough to make the right decisions and could just as easily mess up as an 18-year-old could. Also, while the prefrontal cortex is the main part of the brain consisting in gambling, there are also other parts in the brain that really need gambling's attention. The main part of the prefrontal cortex is for decision making. So when you're gambling, you need to know whether you should roll the dice, go another round on the slots. But other parts of the brain, such as the parietal lobe, so that it affects attention. And while you're gambling, obviously you're going to need a large amount of attention to see how well you're doing, or if there's other people trying to trick you or trying to call your bluff. This part of the brain, the parietal lobe, is already mature at age 16, and therefore has a decent amount of maturity and attention to show that gambling may not always just be irresponsible because one part of the brain is irresponsible. Also, the main part of the brain, again, that's used for gambling, my argument said for the prefrontal cortex, this doesn't apply to already memorized actions. So, in essence, this doesn't, the prefrontal cortex part of the brain doesn't apply to the addiction, the gambling addicts that are currently addicted to it. The prefrontal cortex, again, if you have memorized or repetitive actions, it doesn't need that part of the brain to really use it. So if you're a gambling addict and you're going to keep rolling the dice or keep pulling that slot machine, whatever, it doesn't really matter how attentive or mature your brain is. It's just as long as you're there, you're there. In a website called GamblingAddiction.org, considering that 2.5 million adults suffer from gambling addiction, whereas 15 million are under risk in America, the prefrontal cortex doesn't play a large part unless you're new to gambling, which is all standard for 18 to 21-year-olds. Again, it's just saying that because the brain is not fully mature in those specific parts until you're 25, there shouldn't, 21-year-olds are no more likely to ruin their lives than 18-year-olds at the time. A little bit about sovereignty. California vs. Cabazon Band of Mission Indians, again, and the IGRA, or the Indian Gaming Regulatory Act, displays how they are a sovereign state and they should be able to choose how they want to rule their land. They do have to meet with the states for some parts of gaming regulations, such as deciding whether to allow 18-year-olds to gamble. This being said, it means that the state is already okay with 18-year-olds being able to gamble and that they will come to a consensus that they can make their own choices for gambling, that they are responsible enough. Into finances, the Indian Gaming Regulatory Act stipulates that no entity other than a tribe may possess an ownership interest, but there are always layers of lenders. And that's by, this article is done by a researcher and PhD candidate at the University of Massachusetts, Stephen Stredbrook. This is to say that not all the profits coming to the Indian casinos are going straight to them. Some have to be paid back to the state, some have to be paid to the lenders who helped the Indian casino start up in the first place. And a large percent of the extra winnings are often not gone to the Indian casino itself, but to the states. For example, 25% of all extra hold winnings are going to Connecticut as of 2009.
I got to cut you off. You're at 7 minutes and 40 seconds at this point.